Ignorance is bliss. It's a popular phrase that was, I don't know where it came from, but it was a popular phrase that was made into a song by Kendrick Lamar, which a lot of people know. And it's a popular phrase that I believe encapsulates a lot of what society is going through. So a lot of people are ignorant nowadays to what's going on in the world and what's happening and what they are being conditioned to do. And this ignorance causes people to feel blissful. And that's why it's ignorance is bliss. Bliss is a uncontrollable, perfect happiness. And ignorance is kind of like stupidity or cluelessness of what's happening. When you start working on yourself and go through your self-improvement journey, you're going to realize that everything that you were conditioned to do, everything that others do, and that makes them blissfully happy and makes them all this stuff, is not good for you at all. And eventually will lead you down dark paths of depression, anxiety, and just not good things. We all remember those days, and I don't know if you guys are like this, but I certainly was. I would come home, I would play Minecraft, play Fortnite, and just have a great time with my friends. And that was the chasing of pleasures that kept me blissfully happy. And I still have nostalgia looking back at those days. I don't hate that those days happened. They were great, they were fun, but you have to understand that uncomfortable things are how men grow. Being ignorant and not knowing what's happening is very comfortable because you don't have to try to change anything with yourself. If you know what's happening in the world and you know what you're conditioned to do, you start to understand more. And when you understand more, you can't be ignorant anymore because you just look at things with a different perspective, especially if you start realizing that the world is conditioning you to be someone that maybe you don't want to be. And maybe there is some deep purpose inside of you that you haven't realized because you're ignorant. And in Kendrick Lamar's song, which I absolutely love, before I got into self-improvement and still now, I love listening to these deep songs. So the idea is like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. And I understood some of what they were saying and not a lot of what they're saying too. So I love those songs because they had meaning behind them. And I think that's kind of, even back when I was gaming and I didn't do much with my life, I love the songs because they had meaning behind them. So I, in a way, was trying to search for meaning through those songs. And that probably helped me find my meaning and get to the place that I am at now. So he talks about in the song, we drink and smoke marijuana, want us to change our ways. Like you see this game that we play come from uncles that raised me in Compton. They ask me what I've accomplished. I don't know. I don't have conscience. I just load up and start dumping on enemies, headhunting, no sympathy. So this is talking about gang violence, and he's kind of, the ignorant part of it is he's unconscious to what he's doing. He's not conscious going around and realizing that he's just killing. He's not spreading any love. He's just killing to survive. He's just trying to live. And he's not conscious of this because he's drinking and smoking all the time. This is very common in today's society. Nobody is conscious of how bad their life has become. Nobody is conscious of what is happening in their life because they're always high, they're always drunk, they're always smoking or drinking, and they're trying to hide from the pain and hide from the suffering that happens in their life. You have to face that suffering head on in order to find any improvement. You have to get off technology and get off these other escapisms. So technology, alcohol, drugs, and even music. Music can be an escapism. Gaming can definitely be an escapism as well. When you go into these things, I'll explain why they make you ignorant for each one. With games, you're going into a virtual world, and I've talked about this before, and you're leveling up in that virtual world, so you're pretty much just focusing on that virtual world, rather than focusing on what is actually happening in your life and where you are in life. So you're focusing on leveling up something that is virtual rather than leveling up your actual self in life. Second thing, music. I absolutely love music and I still listen to music on occasion. But people will listen to music all day. There's a study out, and my editor, you don't need to find this, but there was a study out that said something that listening to music all day can cause or is a symptom of being depressed. Which is really weird because there's a lot of people that absolutely love music. But I don't think they realize that if you have music in your ears all day, you're escaping from something with your own mind and with your own life. You're escaping from maybe a situation that you don't want to encounter in life. You're escaping from conversations. Maybe you have social anxiety. You're escaping from your thoughts and what your deep inner thoughts say. Because when music is on and music's like blasting in your ears, you can't really have a lot of thoughts and free thinking because you're just thinking about the song. Or you're just thinking about how loud the song is. So in the song, he talks about being ignorant through marijuana and drinking. Marijuana and drinking take away your consciousness. Marijuana gets you more kind of lazy and allows you to relax. I've never done any drugs or drinking. I've heard marijuana isn't as bad, but it's still an escapism. It's still something that people say, oh, it makes me feel good, it makes me feel happy. It's still an escapism. I personally have never gotten into any of these things, and I'm very glad, because it's just, I believe either one of them, alcohol or marijuana, have incredible negative effects. If you look at alcohol is so unhealthy. It allows like the creation of fat more. I don't know studies behind this either. Actually, editor, go back and do find those studies because that's your job. But yeah, I know alcohol is incredibly unhealthy for you, and it can cause you to gain fat. It can cause you to gain like weight. It can cause you to there's so many unhealthy effects. I haven't looked into them a lot because I'm not going to fall into alcoholism. I might take a drink once in a while. And you have to understand that these escapisms are making you ignorant. You don't understand what's happening in society. You don't understand what's happening in your own mind. You don't understand yourself. There's people who want to understand what's happening in society, but they don't even understand themselves. I don't even understand myself yet. It's a self-mastery type thing where you need to meditate and have times of silence and times where you can realize what your thought processes are and why you have those thought processes. Ignorance it can be happy because most ignorance is through pleasure. So marijuana makes you lazy and happy. You sit there, you're happy, you're not really conscious of everything that you're doing. Alcohol makes you social, takes away your social anxiety, makes you like happy in the moment. But then the after effects of those are you become a more lazy person with weed. And I know there is some health benefits for the people who do smoke weed, but do definitely try to take a step back because it does make you lazy. It does make you hungry and just sit there and do nothing. Alcohol makes you like more social. It's the only proven drug, I guess. Alcohol is technically a drug that will make you aggressive. Like cocaine will give you a lot of energy and stimulate you, but it won't make you aggressive. Alcohol is the only one. So you have to understand that all these things that you're doing to escape have adverse effects. Scrolling through social media is a very big way of just escaping and becoming more ignorant. You have to understand that when you're scrolling through social media, you're just not allowing your mind to think, and you're taking in whatever the social media says, and that goes into your unconscious, and it formulates the way you act. And good or bad, I don't think this is healthy. Like whatever you see on social media, whether it's good or bad, because you should be creating stuff in your mind based on your own experiences rather than others' experiences. So go out there and experience life rather than changing your life based on others' experiences. I believe there's good ways to do this, but you have to understand that your experiences are what matter the most for your own life, because everyone is in a different place. Everyone is in a different part, a different community, whatever it is. So you also have to understand listening to music all day. That can make you very ignorant because you're not hearing anything that's going on in life. You're not having social interaction with people. You're not talking to people or doing anything. You're just sitting there and listening to music. And you don't have any experiences. You can't hear things. You can't study social behaviors when you have music in your ears all day and you're just escaping with it. All these escapisms are making you ignorant and stupid, but also probably making you happy. I look back at, as I said, the days where I gamed and I was very happy. But I'm even more happy now. Happy is a weird word, so I would say I'm even more fulfilled now. And being fulfilled is 10 times better than being happy. Because after playing games, it's hours and hours, you get up, you realize you haven't been outside, you haven't done anything, you haven't done your homework, you haven't talked to your family. And you sit there and you're kind of sad. And then you have to go into something else to escape. So I would go into music or social media right after a big gaming session. I wouldn't do anything. You have to realize that all of these things are just taking away your life. You're not doing anything with your life because you're just always trying to escape. And ignorance is bliss. This perfect happiness, that the idea of bliss, can go away with like a snap. Because happiness is not consistent. Happiness is maybe dopamine or serotonin levels going up. And then if they go up past the baseline level, they can drop very easily below the baseline level, and then you feel like shit. So you have to understand that you shouldn't be chasing happiness, you should be chasing fulfillment. When you chase fulfillment, that will make you naturally happy, but then also it will be controlled. It won't be a unnatural video game or an unnatural social media where you're seeing everyone's life and you're getting happy through that. You have to understand that true fulfillment is like long-lasting happiness. It may not be as intense, but it's longer lasting, and you can go back to it at any time. Personally, with my accomplishments that I've accomplished through cross-country, gym things, self-improvement in general, like gaining more knowledge, mental health, different things, and just realizing the different places I'm in now compared to my older years, that is so incredibly fulfilling, and I can go to it any time. So if I'm having a bad day, I can go back in my mind, and I can think of the things that I worked hard for, think of the things in life that I did, just look back. And it is so nice, because you can always have a sense of gratitude and happiness and presence when you think of the things that you did, that you accomplished in your life. So when I look back, I'm like, wow, I really did that. I really pushed myself that day, and now I'm here. And it makes you realize that you want to do more things that push yourself past the limit so you can improve more every day. And when I have this realization, it's like, you don't want to chase happiness anymore. You don't want to just scroll on social media. You understand that chasing uncomfortable things and not being ignorant to your surroundings and being very observant of everything in your life, including your thoughts and light and everything around you, being like very aware of everything at all times, and understanding that you have to find a purpose in life. And when you find that purpose and you fulfill things that are on the way to that purpose, and maybe one day you do fulfill that purpose, it is so fulfilling. You can always look back with your boys, with your friends, with your girlfriend, whatever it is, and you guys can just look back on your lives and realize that self-improvement and the idea of improving your life and taking away the bad habits and adding good habits has absolutely changed your life. When you see those changes in your body and your mind, whatever it is, and your whole life, it is so incredible. It is exhilarating. It not only gives you happiness, but it gives you true fulfillment, which can't be taken away. And if you just keep going on that journey, when you're 80 and you look back at your life and you were successful and you were always chasing uncomfortable things and you were always chasing, and you're 80 and maybe you're tired and old and you can't move as much, you'll be happy in life. There's a psychological term to when you get to an older age, you move to a different stage of your life where you look back on your life and you either have this idea that you're satisfied with what happened in your life, or you have the other way around where you're not satisfied with what you did in life. The other way around, where you're not satisfied, that is what you want to avoid. You want to be 80 and be like, I just did all this shit throughout my whole life. I'm successful. Nobody else did this. I have so much stories to tell to my younger generation families, and I just have so many things that I can do, and I can just sit here and be quiet and relax after all those hard years of work. You don't understand that when you're really old and you're looking back on your life, don't you want to be proud of what you've done? Don't you want to be proud of the success that you've achieved? Or do you just want to sit there and realize that you didn't do anything with your life? You had no purpose. You had nothing, absolutely nothing that you did. And when you realize that, it's like, that hurts. I've seen that with older relatives in my family. You start to go crazy because you realize the shit that happened in your life is not the shit that you wanted. You didn't fulfill your purpose. But if you get to 80 and you've absolutely fulfilled your purpose, or you've done everything you can to get to there and you made a lot of progress in every part of your life, how can you not be happy? How can you not sit there, lay back, smoke a cigar, and just be happy with where you've gotten? I don't know why I added the cigar part, but I thought that was funny. So I just want you guys to realize that being ignorant and not knowing what's going on in the world is not good at all, because you'll get temporary happiness that will eventually spiral into depression, anxiety, and being socially awkward, all these different things that you don't want. You need to understand that you need to stop falling into escapisms. And when you stop falling into escapisms and you stop escaping from everything that you can in life, you can truly, truly have a change on everything. I love you all. Go out there, be observant and aware of everything that happens in your life, in your mind, and stop falling into escapisms and just escaping from everything in your life. You need to be aware, you need to be observant, and understand that you have a purpose, or you need to find a purpose. And when you fulfill that purpose, that is true, true happiness.